cool, Gunnar. I like those licks, man. That was awesome. Guys, I've got what I'm calling a wicked rhythmic metal lick for you to learn today. We're going to go through this exercise here, and I really want you to hone in on this style because there are some elements that kind of give it that wicked little twist. However, it's a very rhythmic pattern that we're playing here, and this is something that you can apply just across the board, not just to metal music, but to really any style of music here. Now, real quick, my Patreon supporters, you guys have 2 backing tracks and the tab, so make sure you go download that. If you'd like to join my Patreon, there is a link in the description of this video. Just scroll down towards the bottom there. Basically, what I do real quick, guys, is I provide backing tracks and tabs to at least 2 of my lessons each month. I think this month I did 3 of them, but at least 2. So do check that out if you're interested in that. Now we're gonna dive right into the lesson here, guys, but hang around for our guitar chat at the end of the lesson. Now I'm gonna have Gunnar play this real quick. Just play the part I want you to learn, and then I'm gonna go over this with you note for note. This is a cool lick, guys. Let's jump into this thing. But real quick, I'm going to have Gunnar. Gunnar, do you mind playing this just a little bit slower? I want them to hear it slow, and then I'll break it down for you, okay? Now, another important note about this lick, we're playing in the key of C sharp minor. Now, I know that's not a key you're probably used to playing in, but I did this for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, well, that's the key Gunnar wrote the lick in, and I am not going to change it. He will get upset at me if I do that. Reason number 2, I'm going to share that with you in our guitar chat after this lesson, so I'm going to save that for later. So let's go through this lick pattern here, okay? And this is a good lick to play. You can integrate this into a song, play in a different key if you want to fit another chord progression that you're playing in, or you can just expand on this and of course make it your own, which is what I really want you to do. So here we go. We're on the G and the B strings. Those are the only 2 strings that we're going to be playing on, so that helps simplify things a little bit. And here's how that first part starts. I'll break this up into 2 different sections here. Here's the first part. So the notes that we're playing, the frets that we're going to be on, one thing to remember, this first note on the G string, and this is another thing that simplifies everything, that remains constant on the 5th fret until we get to the very end. We'll cover that later, but we're gonna keep that first finger on the 5th fret of the G string, and that note is pretty much always going to be palm muted as well. I'm kind of lightly palm muting that. Now the other notes that we're going to be playing on the B string for this first section, there are only 3 notes. I love to break things down this way, okay? We're only on 2 strings. Well, that first note on the G string, that's constant, 5th fret. And the other string, we're just playing 3 notes for this first part. That simplifies everything. I like to break things down into micro chunks like that, okay? So the frets we're going to be playing on the B string, and we're going to be kind of hopping back and forth between the 2 strings here. That's going to be the 8th fret, the 6th fret, and we're also going to play that 9th fret. And that's where you get that wicked little vibe there. So let's go through this slowly. Pattern you'll notice here is in the beginning until we get to the very end there is I'm going to be picking the note on the B string, then going back to the G string and palm muting that 5th fret of the G string. I'm going to be palm muting that note twice each time. So it's like one note, go back to the other string, palm mute twice, next note, palm mute twice, okay? Listen to this closely. That last part, we only palm mute once. I think it's that last, those last 2 little sections there, okay? pretty simple for the most part. Now, let's move on to the second part of this pattern here. Very similar, okay? It's almost exactly the same. We start out the same way. That 5th fret on the G string, that's still going to remain constant throughout this thing, but we do something a little different towards the end here. So this is how that sounds. I'm going to play the whole thing through, by the way, but just kind of hang on that second part that I played, just so you can hear it all together. Again, we start out exactly the same way, but when we get to the end part there, the only other fret that we're going to throw in is the 5th fret on the B string. Now we're going to end on something else. We'll cover that in a second here. So that last part, okay? That's it. Now, that 5th fret of the B string there, that's another little wicked twist, which is why I call this that wicked type of lick there. And of course, the rhythmic part comes in just the back and forth between the two strings. You know, it's almost like a lead meets rhythm. It's where the two kind of merge together. And these are those types of patterns. I personally, I love these types of lead patterns. They just sound really cool. Like if you're going to do that and then break into some, you know, some single note part of the solo or whatever, or you're playing some single notes and you end with that, something like that, okay? Anyway, I don't want to get off track too much here. So we do that. Let me play through that part slower. Remember, we're palm muting that G string twice as we go back between notes, but that last time around, like the first time around, when we get towards the end, we only palm mute it once there. Next, I do this. That's just 8, 9, 8 on the B string. Let's go through the pattern one more time. I'm going to have Gunnar play it at the normal speed, then I'm going to run through this at a slower speed after that. Then we'll have our guitar chat. Guys, it is now time for our guitar chat. I love these chats because I feel like we're just all in my studio here just talking about the stuff we love the most, and that's jamming together. So real quick before we get into that, two things. Number one, I am working on a lead guitar course. Most of you know I have some guitar courses out there. Links are in the description for that. But I'm working on a lead guitar course. I hope to have it out there by the end of this year, 2022. If not, it will be early 2023. If you have any questions, if you have any things that you may want specifically in this lead guitar course, please leave a comment. Please don't just say shred. Yes, there will be some shred elements in the course, but it's going to be much broader and much more intricate than just how fast can you play. Okay, I plan to cover everything in this course that pertains to playing rock and metal lead guitar. Real quick, the second thing, if you do not have my Metal Riff Master course, there is a link in the description below. I've got that out there for you, so do check that out. If you're just starting out, that's a rhythm guitar course, by the way. If you're just starting to play metal, or if you've been away from it for a while and you're just starting to get back into it, I do have a beginner's course, so links for both those courses are in the description of this video. Alright guys, so the thing I mentioned earlier, I said there was a second reason why I had you playing this lick in a different key, the key of C sharp minor, and that second reason is because when you play in keys that you're not used to playing in, guys, I really think this is one of the best ways to expand, not only as a guitar player, but as a musician in general, and just learn the fretboard better, especially when you're soloing along with those keys. Sometimes people they'll hear a key and they're like, okay, well, that's a weird key, so I'm just gonna down tune my guitar or change my tuning. And I encourage you not to do that. Try playing along with that song and just making up some lead patterns that go with that, okay, that go with that key. Try doing that, because that's going to help you learn your fretboard so much better. You know, I had the opportunity when I was younger to play in many, many different keys. Some of you know my history. I would play metal, you know, when I'm home, play Metallica and stuff like that, and Guns N' Roses and Scorpions and all the bands I loved back then in the late 80s when I started playing guitar. But then Sunday, I'd be playing like old Southern gospel in church, and a lot of those songs are in the key of B flat and E flat. And I didn't use a capo. I learned bar chords in church. It was a really bad pun, but anyway, so I would learn the bar chords in those keys, and I would just learn where the notes on the fretboard fit with those particular keys back then. Was it my favorite type of music? No, but I later learned how much that helped me learn the fretboard a lot better. In fact, just a few days ago, or within this past week, I got to play two different styles of music that I don't normally play. Last Saturday night, I sat in with the Southern Creek Band. Well, they play naturally Southern rock and a lot of country, so I'm playing not necessarily in different keys there, but a different style that I'm used to playing in. Then just a couple of nights ago, I met up with a friend of mine who I met on YouTube, Andres Collin. He is an amazing Spanish guitar player. I mean, he was just ripping it up. I've got a video featuring him coming up soon, because he's going to go over all the live gear. We actually did a really cool YouTube collaboration. He's going to have me on his channel, and I'm going to have his gear, the live setup and looping and all that. He's just the master at that stuff. But I got to play along with his style and some of his music that he was playing, and that I had to just play along with because we had never practiced together. Some of that music was in different keys that I was not used to playing in, and a style that I really don't ever play. I don't know if I've ever tried to play this style of music before, so it's very interesting. And guys, I'm not sharing this with you to brag. That's not what this is about. This is about encouraging you to branch out a little bit, expand. Don't be afraid to try some new things, like playing in different keys like you just did. I want you to take this lick, okay? I want you to take that lick, and I want you to expand on it. Maybe even play it in a different key. Hey, maybe play it in E flat minor. That's a really weird guitar key. But I just want to share this with you to encourage you guys. That's what this is all about, to encourage you to get uncomfortable. Get out of that comfort zone. This is why a lot of times we get stuck, because we're playing the same metal riffs over and over again. And I know we all like metal, or we wouldn't be watching this video together, right? Wait, I'm not watching it. Well, I sort of am, because I'm watching me film it and chat with you guys right now. But I want you to branch out. Push yourself, guys. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations, okay? Put yourself in those positions, and that is only going to help you grow as a guitar player and a musician. I want you to always think this, and then we'll wrap this up. I want you to think of yourself as this. You're a guitar player first, okay? Then you're a metal guitar player or rock guitar player, whatever genre. I know some of you play different genres, and that's fine, but I know my channel's kind of been centered around metal since 2010, and we've branched out on the channel here too. You guys have seen me sharing some tips for playing acoustic guitar, because I do a lot of live acoustic shows. I do 2 or 3 a week these days, you know? So I just want to help you expand and get out of that comfort zone, branch out. You're going to be amazed at how much you're going to grow and what you can do with guitar and with your music. It's just going to open up so many more doors and pathways, and I think that is also going to help open more pathways in your life in general, because you've learned to take yourself out of that comfort zone and put yourself in an uncomfortable position, and you make it, right? You push through, and it's just the best thing in the world. So guys, I hope this encourages you. If you have any questions about what we went over today, please leave those in the comments. Thank you so much for watching my videos, for all the support. Don't forget to check the links in the description of this video. I've got my guitar courses out there, Metal Riff Master. I also have Metal Guitar Apprentice if you're just starting out, if you need to revisit those basics. Those links are in the description of this video. Guys, thank you so much. Give this a like, give it a thumbs up, please, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys on the next video. Until then, as always, keep it metal.